Drunk and Disorderlies 39.
They say 39.
Drunk and Disorderlies 39.
Drunk and Disorderlies
39.
Drunk and Disorderlies
39.
Drunk and Disorderlies
39. Drunk and Disorderlies 39. Drunk and Disorderlies 39. Drunk and Disorderlies 39. How many? 39. All right, should we legit start the show now?
Yeah, I think,
no,
thanks,
just keep going until the song ends.
Thanks to, yeah, we got to keep going until the song
I
ends.
think we've really impressed our audience already with our singing skills here on stage.
And then now we introduce ourselves.
Thanks to
I'm
Chris.
Lars. You are.
I'm Trevor.
And look way up. Robert Michael Malcolm II, a.k.a. Big Bob.
Big Bob in the
Ladies and
house.
gentlemen, welcome.
And we are recording live here downtown Toronto at the beautiful
1830, 9 Clarence Square.
where
And
This place is phenomenal.
If you haven't been here yet, you're missing out. They just opened up in January, and it's delightful. We have the cornucopia of things for our eyes that we're looking at right now. It's very Instagrammable. This place is Instagrammable.
I feel bad for everybody looking at us because what we're looking at is way better, but behind you guys.
There's
So
a tree over there with all kinds of blossoms. There's multiple chandeliers, hand-blowing balls of glass with roses inside them.
probably it contained the soul of magic fairies. That as soon as I
For sure, a magic mirror right there.
I
Oh, for
exploded.
sure.
I exploded
No,
many
and
fairies
it
last
is
week.
absolutely, it is absolutely one of those spots that's conducive to telling stories and listening to stories, and I guess that's why we're here tonight.
Very
right?
fortunate.
speakeasy.
We're very fortunate.
Yeah,
to
it
be
is
here.
like a speakeasy, only less people passed out or overdosing on the floor.
So
Is that the technical term of speakeasy?
this is an interesting one for me. This is our 4th podcast, and I am just coming out of being feeling not like a human. I was so hungover on Sunday, and I've been really not drinking a whole lot. Not
I was gonna
partying.
say.
And then I decided it was a birthday party on Saturday, so I decided
Yeah,
to
try
turn
it
it
out.
on. Turn it on. A friend of mine, she wanted to come along, and she was into dancing, so we had several doubles and some shots, and ended up at the Hideout till 4 a.m.
That's how you do it, right?
Fantastic.
A hideout, double some
Yeah,
shots to
so,
the hideout. That's how you do it, right?
I feel
Right,
like
everybody?
This is my
Yeah.
first legitimate 39 drunk and disorderlies. Not that I was disorderly, but I was definitely drunk on Saturday.
Fair enough.
This is how drunk I was on Saturday. I slept till 11, stayed up till 1 p.m., then I slept from 1 till 9 p.m., and then I went to bed again at 11. So I was up from 11 till 1 and 9 till 11. And then I got up this morning at pretty early, actually, like 7:30. So I'm back on track completely, but yeah.
You go to the hideout and then you hide out. I guess
Right.
that's what happens.
Right. Right.
It can.
So cheers to that. Drink up. Drink up.
I was gonna say, how is everybody's drunk and disorderlies in the last week? You
How was
know,
your weekend?
talk to us, Bob.
Oh,
Tell
okay.
us
Well,
what's
I
up.
work on the weekends. I work 2 double back-to-back shifts, right? So I do a bar and then a booze can. So
Which is, for those of us who didn't know the
a
term, booze
speakeasy
can.
and after hours,
Yeah,
a gin rummy.
we like to make sure everyone knows that a gin rummy booze can is an after hours.
It's perfectly legit, though.
After.
Perfectly.
I mean,
I
it's legit in the sense that the cops go, hey.
Oh, sure. Until they give you tickets. I haven't had one in 20 years. I haven't had
What's
one.
the deal with that? Like,
Okay,
do
all right.
cops come up? Or?
Listen, I'm not a lawyer. In fact, I've been told by lawyers I shouldn't come and talk to them anymore. So, when you quote these statistics or legal facts later on, take that with a grain of salt. That you're listening to like a 400-pound drunk guy who you probably shouldn't be trusting. Okay, so when the cops deal with booze cans or after hours, the problem is this: it's a municipal fine, right, for vending liquor after hours without a license. That's the issue, right?
Right.
However, the problem is the customers themselves aren't committing a crime because they're of legal drinking age and can drink.
What about all the below? Is that a crime?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just checking.
That is usually a
Wink,
crime.
wink, wink.
However, once again, that is a separate issue, right? Like usually if the establishment is smart, they have nothing to do directly with
Right.
those. Also, it's the other reason why you can't sell cigarettes, because that's a federal offense. And you can do real time for that. Go figure.
Hey, tobacco, man.
It's
Control.
like you can drink here until literally you cannot see. But if I sell you one cigarette
How dare you?
You bastards.
But I want to smoke so bad.
That's the worst part. At 6 in the morning when you've been drinking for 5 hours, all you want is that smoke, right?
You can sell smokes. They just have to be DNRs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even smoke. That's pretty good cigarette knowledge.
Oh,
for me.
the
I'm
worst
very
cigarette I
proud
ever
of myself.
smoked, and most people don't know these even exist, and they're hard to prove it, but you can look it up. It's a fact. No name brand, actually, for a very short period of time, had cigarettes as well. This is when grocery stores. This is when grocery stores still sold cigarettes. Literally, right? So you go to No Frills and get a pack of no-name cigarettes. And I'm not kidding. Yellow pack, fucking no name on the pack. Like, no joke. Tasted literally like you were smoking rolled up cat shit. I mean, it was the lowest grade of tobacco they could like sell to anyone legally and still be like, well, it came from a plant, sort of like tobacco. It was growing near the tobacco, like, you know what I mean? These people guys lawn clippings for all I know. They were bad, really, really bad.
It was tobacco until a cat ate it.
Well, like I said,
And then
some
they
of
sold
you
it to
know they got the price they got on because they imported it from the Soviet Union. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, these been frozen in bunker for 40 years. They're still good. Sell them.
When I was in Dominican Republic one time, I bought weed from a guy named Pedro on the beach, and I smoked it, and it was great, except it looked like it was weed that a goat ate, then shit out, then I smoked. If I were to describe it.
But you still smoked it.
Oh, of course we did. It was all we had. It's like,
Smoked it.
beggars can't be choosers.
No,
I'm in another
that's
country.
you.
I don't have a guy.
No.
Sure you did.
Like,
Your guy was
that
Pedro.
guy.
The goat shit weed guy.
guy
Pedro,
was the
that's
beach
awesome.
guy.
You know, you're
Yeah.
just giving Pedro a reason to come here and whack you because you're like off his weed in public. Like,
Oh, wow. Which Pedro is it?
who knows? He knows. He's gonna remember you. Get an email later. This is Pedro.
No, I told him my name was Big Poppy.
It wasn't goats. It wasn't goats.
My worst brown frown was it looked like now in retrospect it looked like after you do a vaporizer and then it extracts it so it's just brown.
Yeah.
Literally we got a half ounce. We were in grade 9 I want to say. My sister's friend, like 5 years older. Yeah, sure, I'll say a half ounce. Gives it to us, but he like jumps out of a truck, gives it to us, jumps into another truck.
Nice.
Because he was like a dealer or whatever, right? So they do these things.
Sure.
And it was just like, here's a bag, here's the money, and he's gone. It's literally like, did it even happen? And we get to the treehouse to smoke it, and we look at it, we're like,
Why did you put quotations over it?
because the treehouse was made of trees, but it wasn't in trees.
Okay. There's just piles of brush on the ground.
No, it's like made.
It's a manufactured
Board.
structure.
Yeah, but
But it's not in the
Oh,
tree.
okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got
it's like you have to. You take
Just
little
like a
mocks.
playground.
Yeah, playground.
Right, okay.
So that's why it's a tree house.
Thank you.
Does that
the
quantify?
animators to
Does that
just figure
quantify
that
the? And
Sorry,
so,
continue.
well, that's the end of the story. It was brown frown. It sucked.
Oh, okay. Well, we're talking a lot about weed for a podcast about drunken disorderlies, so maybe we
That's
should
okay. I
get into
usually
the
smoke weed when I'm
That's all
drunk,
right.
so-
Yeah, they are kind of tied together.
Shall we get into the
Yeah,
alcohol stuff?
tonight Bob approached and he said, tonight we're going to talk about loyalty and bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
So, those apparently go together.
They do.
With drunken disorderlies, perhaps?
You never know.
We never know.
Buckle up.
All right. So, as you guys know, the way this usually works is I sit here and I'll tell you a couple of strange little stories from my life, and we'll try and anecdotally analyze them together and sort of figure out, what the fuck it was that I was thinking, or if I was thinking, or what have you. Sometimes there's a moral, and sometimes it's just entertaining, right? So anyway, the story I have for you tonight is about bare knuckle boxing, and it's about loyalty, and how sometimes you can get mixed up with people who you trust and are loyal to, and end up bare knuckle boxing as a result. So, I worked in bars. I have for years since I was, 17, 18. And I used to work at a joint that was basically being run into the ground by the managers. So this dude who owned the place was an accountant who bought this bar to try and save it from receivership or something. Like, he was like, yes, this is a great tax break. I can do this. It'll be good. I'll own this bar. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'll have this biker and this crazy Filipino gangster guy run my bar for me. What could go wrong?
That sounds like a perfect business plan, right?
Well,
Yeah,
so anyway-
HBO, are you listening?
So anyway, the two managers that he hired, who were childhood friends, craziest story there too, but I don't even know that one entirely. Anyway, decided that the best business model they could run was take the money and run. So we're just going to spend as much as we can, as fast as we can, until this guy runs out of money, and then we're just going to fold up and leave. So, yeah, I mean, it was.
Sign me up.
It was wild. So it was this
Business
absolute lunatic rock bar right downtown, right at Bathurst and Queen.
Oh yeah, that's a good area.
Yeah. It was upstairs above a pharmacy. No, it wasn't Cathedral, although I have worked there as well. But no, it was called Zen Lounge and then Fun House for a while. And before that it was Zoo Bar. But when Zoo Bar closed down, the management, like I said, the management style changed from let's make money to let's run this place into the ground. You know? And so we hired
Managers, are you listening?
So the managers hired a bunch of really interesting characters, like me and some of my friends who were just basically wastrel kids in the neighborhood, like who sort of had jobs in the industry but didn't really know what the fuck we were doing. And yeah, one of the events that occurred there on a fairly regular basis was after-hours fighting. So the bar would close down, and every couple of months, this guy and a bunch of these really scary friends of his would show up, and they'd have like their champion of the week. So there was this old Asian guy who used to bring in his champions. Then there was this, this other sort of biker-looking dude who would bring in guys. And then there was my boss who would just occasionally pick somebody from the staff to like have an interesting time.
So you're all standing around like Fight Club, like have you
Absolutely.
got shirts off, like.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you push some of the tables away from the middle of a dance floor.
Yeah, what does it look like, really?
Drop a few mats on the floor, and literally just a bunch of guys sitting on tables, smoking cigars and cigarettes, drinking liquor, like watching a couple dudes beat the shit out of each other at like 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean?
And so there's the Asians with the Asian champ, the biker with the biker champ, and then your boss is like, who on my staff could possibly be a fighter?
Well,
6'11".
The story actually is where it was at, because we had a guy who was like an Olympic level judo guy working for us, and he used to pit fight all the time. And one night, I was doing go check, which is really like knife and gun check. You sit there with you have these little, literally, I'm talking like little Tupperware tubs, and the guy walks up and gives you $50, hands you like his butterfly knife and his 9mm, and you like put it in the tub and like close the tub and write his name on it and put it under the shelf, right? Yeah, you put it under the, no, you just remember. There aren't that many people, and you better remember. And you just put the little tubs under the tray, and then you sit there, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll just hang out and get wasted and do gun check. It's not a big deal.
Do you guys understand what you're just hearing right now? There's Coach Check, and he's a gun and knife check guy. If you're wondering like how legit this.
So that was interesting in itself. And I watched a dozen of these fights, 24 fights, I don't know how many, lots of fights, all screwed up, just like sitting there getting drunk, getting wasted, watching these guys beat the crap out of each other. And one night, the older Asian gentleman who used to bring his own champions just walked in and started talking to my boss. And he was like, and they're talking. I see them across the room talking and talking, and they're looking at me. They're talking and talking and looking at me. And then Andrew, the judo master I worked with, he was like, supposed to fight that night, comes over and goes, right, Bob, let's go. And I'm like, what do you mean, let's go? He's like, well, you're up. We're going to go a round or two. I'm like, what, you and me? You're like an Olympic grade judo fighter. Like I watch you kick guys' asses all the time. No, I'm like gun check. It's cool. Like I'll be over here with the weapons.
And the guns.
And he's like, no, come on. Like the boss, boss says this, some money on this. You'll get a bit. Like how about a couple $100? I'm like, no, I want like so I'm thinking, like, so I freeze. So I freeze, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna actually do this thing? I'm looking around. Everyone's looking at me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing. But no, I'm not doing it for a couple $100. I'm like, I want a slice of the action.
Nice.
And so I went to my boss. I'm like, here's the deal. I want 25% of whatever I win. I have no idea how big these guys bet. Right? No clue, right? So I'm like, I want 25%. He looks at me and I'm like, hey, my first fight, I'm probably going to lose. And I win nothing, I lose, and whatever, you have nothing. If I win, hey, it's my first fight. I deserve a piece, right? And he's like, all right, Bob, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah, we'll go there. So I go out there and promptly get my ass handed to me for like 15 minutes. I mean, this guy's just, get a couple minute breaks in between. I'm black and blue, bleeding out of the face. I feel like one of my molars is loose. He's been kicking me around the room,
Oh, goodness.
And I'm thinking, this has to end. But again, that cool hand Luke factor kicks in. Just like, no, I'm not going to go down.
Oh, no, yeah.
If you're gonna get beat up, he's gonna have to win. You're gonna have to beat me. Like I want you to make sure that you win. I'm not gonna lose. You're gonna win. So he's kicking my ass, and it taught me a valuable lesson about fighting, which is the very first thing I teach anybody that I'm teaching to bounce or to fight or anything. If you can't take a beating, don't ever expect to be good at fighting. Because no matter what happens, you're going to get hit. And that's the difference between someone who can fight and someone who can't. When the hits start flying, if you take one and can get back in there and do it again, you actually have a higher chance of winning. And the more times you can take one and keep coming, it's numbers, right? At that point it becomes statistically more and more likely. Every time you get hit, if you don't go down, you might win that fight.
It's the Homer Simpson approach.
Yeah. Lean in, face first, just take a beating. So anyway, I was getting my ass handed to me. And judo involves a lot of tugs and pulls and throws. And he was getting sick, I guess, of just kicking me around. So he went for like his coup de grace, like judo throw, like over the back, like toss me on the ground. And that would have been the end of that. Because like, you know, big man landing on his head on the ground, that's it, I'm done. Well, I reach out and I feel it grab the arm and I feel the pull. And I'm off my feet and I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, this is where I get to lose this fight. Like, but as I'm flying through the air, I see his head. I'm in the air and I just see his head.
That's a meme. As I'm flying through the air, I see his head. Boom, Big Bob.
So I just grabbed it, like, and locked up on it. And instead of becoming the throw over, I become the fulcrum. And so I hit the ground. He whips over me, and I land on him.
You get some WWF stuff.
On his head. And there's this terrifying, like, sort of crunch sound, and I thought for sure, and the feet are drumming on the floor, and I thought, oh no, first fight, I killed some guys. I'm like this, and I look,
Classic Bob.
you know, and I look like a pound of ground beef that's been thrown against the windshield of an oncoming train. Like I'm just like, there's blood, you know, like I'm fucked right up. And my boss comes over, slaps me on the back, and puts $1,500 in my hand, cold-hearted cash, and goes, all right, go get a drink, good fight. And I'm looking around, all the guys just nodding like, oh, perfectly awesome, right? I look back, and Andrew's like, on the floor. I'm just like, oh, seriously? Okay. So I go to the bar. My buddy's tending bar, and he's just like, he's already sitting there with like 4 fingers of whiskey and a beer like on the bar, and he's like, you okay? He's got this like rag with ice. You know, and I'm just like, I don't even know what the fuck happened anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just sort of standing by the bar, glass of whiskey in one hand, beer in the other hand, going, like barely conscious. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pick up the ice with the beer and the whiskey in front of me. I'm like, this isn't working. I just finished the shot, put the beer back down, grabbed the ice, and just sort of laid on the bar with my face in the ice for like 25 minutes. Anyway, Andrew came out of it, and he was okay. And it turned out he was not significantly injured from that.
Oh, thank God.
Although I think he took a bit of an ego strike because shortly thereafter he had a very deep descent into crack cocaine.
Right.
And it might also be from, you know, years and years of bare knuckle boxing crazy people at the end of the night.
Sounds like he was on track.
Yeah, and the thing about that bar was it was one of those places where these kind of like extremely violent, strange things occurred on an extraordinarily regular basis. I mean,
That's your life.
And I worked with a guy who I swear was magical. He's one of these guys who, like, at 13, he had no skills and was like, you know, I don't know, not that bright. I don't know how else to say it without being ridiculously offensive. But anyway.
Dumb.
Yeah, just not that bright. You know. Yes, a little bit spurred.
Can we meme that?
But he went to Thailand. Decided he was going to go to Thailand and become a Thai boxer.
Late night show.
And spent like 15, 20 years in Thailand learning Thai box. And he told me about his training. When he first got to, he planted this little palm tree. When he first got to this like crazy dojo in Thailand. They're like, okay, so you plant this palm tree, then you live here, and they train you like 20 years goes by. And the last test before you're allowed to leave is you have to kick down the palm tree that you planted 20 years ago.
My God.
Now,
That's
I don't know if you know how much fucking palm trees grow and how fast, right? But in 20 years, what looks like a cute little sapling is now 40 feet high and like this thick. And you, with your bare shins, are going to shin kick this fucking tree to the ground, okay?
Yeah,
that's how you graduate.
You've been training for 20 years. If you can't do it, what have you been doing?
The tree's just standing there.
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. I don't know a lot of people who can kick down trees, okay? Like,
Where is this? What country is this?
Thailand. Yeah, it's kickboxing. But this guy could do some amazing things. Like we had these bars, the same place after I was fighting. The bar was like 35 feet long, 40 feet long, and there were candles, just like you see the candle sconces, sitting every 10 feet. He could point to a candle on the bar and then punch the bar where he was standing, and that candle would jump. So he could pick different ones, like the one in front of him, boom, this candle goes. 10 feet away, boom, that candle goes. 15 feet away, boom, that candle jumps there. Craziest thing I ever saw. I also watched him juggle a dude on his knees during a fight.
Wait, you say that as if like there was a juggle standoff and he out-juggled him, but no, he literally juggled.
No, he hit the guy in the face and then kicked his legs out. And when his legs came out, he went sideways. And as he went sideways, he kneed him and he went up in the air against the wall. And as he was coming back down, he kneed him again. And he went back up in the air. And then he was sort of going like, hoo-ha, like he was playing hacky sack with a 200-pound man. I had to walk over and be like, okay, you got him. Like, I'll take him out now. And the guy like steps back, and the guy just goes, this bag of chiclets hits the ground, right? And it's like, okay. I'm just gonna drag this to the front now, you know?
You're describing Street Fighter right now.
Actually, the guy looked kind of like Dial. He did look kind of like Dial, which is kind of funny to say the least. But yeah, huge dude. They started dating a girl that I was fucking after I stopped sleeping with her.
Okay, that's a key ingredient.
And she was like, you can't let him know that we were ever a thing. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't, and I won't. So don't bring it up like you might tell him. Like, this guy juggles people with his knees. You know, he can make candles. Like, this guy is like a character from a bad video game. No. Don't let him know what I've done. Right?
Is that where the loyalty aspect plays into the...
Yes. That's right.
One of my favorite things.
Loyalty goes out the window when you're going to get killed by a guy who looks like Guile for fucking a girl with nice tits. Out the window.
Aside from the fact that I get to
down.
hear your fucked up stories, that's the main reason I love these podcasts. But the other reason is I love anytime I hear about people who like gave you trouble. You know,
it happens all the time.
Like,
that's the thing that I don't believe either.
That you would just dominate everybody.
No.
When you meet your match, that to me is a hilarious scenario.
And it's not, and that's, yeah, the thing is, again, everyone believes that, you know, being a giant just means like every day is nothing but, you know, sunflowers and buttercups. No, it's like every idiot in the world's like, I know what I am. I'm a giant slayer this morning, right? Oh. 2 birds, 1 stone, stitch it on my belt. You know what I mean? Like, it just gets out of control. So working as a bouncer, you see a lot of that. You see a lot of guys who are just, you know, they're just drunk enough. They're just big enough to be like,
true enough.
ha, 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 I've got a chance. And you develop, after a while, you develop that face that just says to people, no, you don't. It takes a while. But once you get that face, you know, the guy walks up to you and like, hey, man, look, seriously, right up before you even start talking, do yourself a solid. Do yourself a solid. Just walk away. This is not going to end the way you think it's going to end. In fact, it's going to end in a gurney.
Can we see that face if we were like?
So we're drunk and disorderly, and we're gonna be like, tell him that he can't.
The problem is it's difficult to actually do on impulse. It's like I said, you develop it because you're actually that frustrated with people.
It's a killer instinct.
Yeah, it's not a face you can. It's not a face you can mime. It really isn't. And I know it because I've tried many times to sort of look angry dramatically.
Right.
And it's nothing like you can tell when you've actually done it. It's like the Gorgon stare. The room in front of you in like a 40-foot cone just freezes, and everyone's like, people sit down. They put their hands in their laps. Like it's like the best behavior that children normally have.
And
if you're tired though, sometimes you just look bored. And that's when I know shit's gonna happen. Like, Bob is not reacting at all. It's like someone's gonna die.
That's true. That's true.
Shit's going down all around him, and he's just Bruce Lee, just fucking, just silent in this.
Actually, at the bar my friend Sky here works at with me, we've had an interesting times where I've actually been asleep in a chair, and the boss has come over and said to me, "Are we paying you to sleep?" And one of the guys by the pool table, one of the gangsters that hangs out there, goes, "No. If he's sleeping, it's cool, but if we wake him up, it's really bad news." So you have these guys like tiptoeing around the sleeping bouncer in the back of the club, like, we're just gonna play pool and behave ourselves. Because if we wake that guy up, it's all over.
Literally the sleeping giant.
Right. Your whole life's a cartoon. That guy juggling a guy on his knee, that's a cartoon. That story's a cartoon.
Same guy got hit with bottles in a bottle fight at the bar one night. And he got hit so many times he's all cut up. He didn't care. He just walked through this bottle storm until at the end of it, he got convinced that he was going to get AIDS from all these broken bottles. Yeah, and I mean, again, I said he's not the brightest guy, right? So,
Right.
but then he started to cry. So he's in the office, crying in the kitchen back office, crying because he thinks he's going to get AIDS. So my busboy,
Wait, isn't that how you get AIDS, from broken bottles?
yes, that's right. So my busboy
That
takes
monkey smash over you? I think
takes
it's
a
bottles
bucket,
that monkey
takes a
smash
bucket
on
and
you.
pours bleach into it and says, "Look, bleach will kill anything." Takes a sponge and bleaches this guy's like 100 slicey cuts. Well, this like giant, insane killer dude sits there like crying in his chair. I'm gonna die of AIDS. And my buddy's just bleaching him down, and I'm like, again, total madness, right?
Just another Tuesday in Robert Michael Malcolm II's life.
Well, it was a Friday, but yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, it was a Friday.
If Tom's around, can I grab another Peroni?
He's like, I'm Tom's accomplice.
Even if Tom's not around, can I grab
I don't
another
know about you
Peroni?
drink beer, but tonight I'm drinking Dos Equis.
Nice.
Brownies
Thank
aren't
you.
that cold yet.
Okay, I'll switch it up to, I'll go Dos Equis.
Do you need a beer there, Bob?
No, I just ordered one.
You ordered one. Good,
right.
good man. He knows how to order a beer after all
You fucking hope so at this point,
after
right?
all this time.
Yeah, after all this time. It's true. I do know how to order a beer, ladies and gentlemen. It is a thing.
Remember when we figured out how many beers we figured you drank? Karim's laughing. By the way, I think the number was 64,064. Lifetime beer amounts. That's a lot of beers.
And counting.
Also, during that, when you were telling us about the Thai kickboxers who kick down trees, apparently it has come to our notice that one of our producers here, Karim, behind the camera. Karim, you kick down trees?
Not trees, but I know how to kick really, really hard. I
Like-
train Muay Thai too.
Yeah.
So he can kick trees, essentially, is what he's
Trees?
saying.
Or what can you kick down?
Shrubs.
Plywood,
Plywood?
I haven't tried a baseball bat yet, but I'll try
Whoa,
one day.
what do you mean you
Sort of
haven't
like
tried it?
IKEA's worst nightmare.
You think you could kick through a baseball bat?
If you give me 2 months to train, yes.
2
How
months.
many baseball bats do you need in 2
Yo,
months?
that's 39 Drunken Disorderlies stand-up dare right there. We now have 2 months of training before baseball bat kickoff-a-thon occurs.
Yeah, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see this man kick through an
Thank you.
entire baseball bat.
Wow.
Singular.
So let's get back on track
Do you need
here.
Were we off track?
Is there? Well, no.
I mean, that was loyalty and bare knuckle boxing for you. That story basically. I mean, I could go on and talk about that bar for a long time. A lot of things happened there.
Let's
My
talk
bus
about-
boy made chlorine gas in the bathroom one time by accident.
What?
Yeah. Well, chlorine gas is simple, right? It's bleach and ammonia mixed evenly with a little bit of, any kind of lubricating solvent. So he went to the bathroom that was completely soaked in urine after a Saturday night of drunken horribleness in a nightclub, a full busy nightclub, and basically splashed a bucket full of bleachy water over the floor, and instantaneously, this sort of vaporous toxic gas started to rise up, and he started to choke, and people had to leave the bar. And from that point forward, he actually had a phobia of creating chlorine gas, and 3 times thought he had done it without actually doing it, and had like a panic attack, and I had to come and rescue him from hiding out on the balcony, on the back fire escape of the bar because he thought he'd made chlorine gas and wasn't sure, but was tripping out too hard not to be, he wasn't gonna go back in until he was sure.
What was
Yeah.
his name?
We've all been there.
We're gonna save him from that for now.
Oh.
We'll call him Jack.
We've all been there.
We call him Old Chlorine Gas Jack. That's his name, eh? Old Jack Chlorine Gas.
Totally rolled
Whatever
up.
his last name is.
Here's a segue.
I'm really terrible with fake names. His name's actually Jack.
Terrible friend.
Just
Literally.
Off the top of your head, how many cop cars do you think you sat in the back of? Different cop cars.
actually, I can tell you that. I think I know pretty much clearly how many cop cars that. It happens less than you'd think.
Right, because
Because I don't get charged with things. I
Yeah.
don't get arrested very often. I
Do you
just
think-
have cops walk up to me and go, "Really? You are this guy for sure?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm this guy for sure." They're like, "You here's a ticket or something. You are really drunk and you're fucked up." Like, only a few times, probably 6 times in my entire life, I've actually sat in a cop car.
you think you've been in an ambulance more?
No,
Yeah, that's good.
I've only been in an ambulance 3 times.
Have as many, folks.
You were talking about bare knuckle fights. I want to hear more about like your fight history. Like how many damage have these bad boys done here? Look at those.
Probably too many.
Show those to the camera. Nice. Let's see those paws. Oh my god.
These are the meat hammers.
Is that your weapon of choice? Are you a
Absolutely.
a fist pound?
Absolutely. I don't believe that it's necessary for someone who can throw a punch like a sledgehammer to carry around weapons. I just don't think it's really poignant. Besides, the age of the gun has changed people's entire persona when they drink or they go out.
No one's a hero anymore.
It's more than that. There are truly villains. I mean, it's more than just no one's a hero anymore. It's like you have guys who wander in with the intent to kill other people, which I don't think is really the case when you're just fist fighting someone. Like, we used to fist fight every Friday night. Me and a couple of guys, Jack and a few other boys, we go out, we drink, cooking sherry, get really stoned.
That's the stuff that gets you all fired up.
Well, you're punk rockers, and it's like $5 a bottle, and it's still 15%. I mean, yeah, it's all sugar, and you barf a lot. It's disgusting, but you're a cheesy punk rocker.
You do get all
right?
jacked up, though, eh?
So you get out and get snaked, and that's just kind of it. And then, we used to have a lot of, thank you very much. We used to have a lot of altercations with the skinheads, because we were anti-racist punks, and there was lots of skinheads for a while. Like Polish Nazis. What an ironic thing that is. But there was a fairly large section of Polish Nazis in Toronto for a while. We used to just sort of, we knew where they drank and they knew where we drank. And so we'd be sitting around drinking and they'd show up and be like, okay. And
This is great.
bottles to the floor and asses out the door, and that's, it's time to rock and roll.
That's great. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty rad in that industry of punk rock. If you go anti-racism, then you develop quite a few enemies.
Yeah. Well, especially in the area you're talking about here, like, it was the 90s resurgence of skate punk, right?
Right.
So punk rock had sort of had like a rebirth. It was a sort of a sad, I would say immature rebirth, but it did the best it could. But again, I mean, it was weird because you'd have skins and you'd have skids and you'd have all kinds of, racist elements. And then you'd have a bunch of Irish Scots with drinking problems evening the score. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
whoops.
I remember actually that my favorite Nazi fight ever was on the subway.
Here we go, folks.
My favorite Nazi fight
Episode 5. We're going to call this favorite Nazi.
Yeah, I'm riding on the Brewer line, and there's a little old Asian lady sitting in a seat by herself, and there's these Polish Nazi guys giving her a hard time, dropping racial slur after racial slur, just, little old lady. And I was sort of standing there behind her reading a book, and I couldn't handle it. Put the book in my pocket. I was like, yeah, skin rags. The guy turns around, I'm like, you're really bold. Pick on like an 85-year-old woman on the subway. I'm like, so, I guess it's my turn. So why don't you pick on me for a while? I'll make it easy. And the guy's like, yeah, blah, blah. But he got halfway through that, and I was like, no, we're not really listening. We're fighting now. We're not talking about you being a skinhead. We're fighting about it.
Yeah.
So I grabbed him by his ear and smashed his head against the window where the doors are. The door's closed. There's a little window in the door. And I broke the door. The door bent outward, and the door wasn't, so it's like not the train's going through the tunnel, right? And his friends are like, oh no, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's exactly how this is gonna be. The next stop arrives, and this one guy goes flying out onto the platform. Two of the guys are running away, and there's this little old Asian lady cackling like she's never seen anything funny in her entire life.
Made her life.
Right? And nobody else on the train. I mean, this is the thing about being a Nazi. You've made your choice. You got your Nazi patch, your swastika patches on, and you're wandering around. People don't care if you get killed in public. Yeah. They don't care.
Not a lot of sympathy.
They really don't. There's not a lot of sympathy. It's like Hail Hitler, and then you're like run over by a truck, and everyone's like, hey man, did you see that truck get damaged over there?
Aw, poor Nazi.
It hit that fucking speed bump.
That, eh? Aw, poor Nazi.
No, exactly. There's no sympathy. So people look up from their newspaper and watch this guy get thrown onto the platform and then just beaten within an inch of his life, right? And they're just like, oh yeah. Back to the Financial Times,
Another Nazi beating.
How are my stocks going? it looks like Himmler's getting his ass kicked again. Like, they just don't think about it that way. It's not. But anyway, so again, 2 things to remember. Nazis never get sympathy, and bare knuckle boxing does not need the loyalty, not necessarily.
Is that the moral of this episode?
No, that's the point of the episode. Morality has nothing to do with this.
Okay. What was it again? What's the point? Nazis have no sympathy.
Nazis never get sympathy, and bare knuckle boxing does not always lead to loyalty.
So I think we should go to audience questions real quick. You got some Big Bob audience questions here?
Let's turn it out to the audience.
Alessio, what do you want to know about Bobby?
Yeah, just for everyone at home, just so you know, we have Alessio in the audience tonight. He's a special guest. We're very, very fortunate to have him. And Jim, we love Jim. Alessio, what's your question for Big Bob?
Have you ever met somebody that's as tall as you?
I met the tallest man in Canada not that long ago.
Oh, I know him. Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to come to one of the booze cans that I worked at sometimes. And it's the only guy I know
Of course.
who looks actually kind of like me, but is literally head and shoulders taller and wider. So it's like the way most people stand in front of me and go. I kind of got to stand there and be like, and you know what? I didn't say it. I swear to God, I didn't say it. And I know the temptation for everyone to be like, you're pretty big. Is there on the tip of your tongue? Because every motherfucker says it to me, right? But I just stood there and I smiled like this, and I was like, and he was like, yeah, just bask in it while you can. And I was like, and a long time ago,
7'7".
7'6", 7'7", something like
yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah, so he does kind of like got you by a bit.
But he also outweighs me by like at least 150 pounds.
Right.
How old is he? Like,
Late 30s,
Yeah.
okay,
like
yeah.
40s, mid 40s. I don't know. He's older than me, but not by much.
Okay,
I'm 37, so.
okay.
And then there was a time when I was 18 and I was walking down Yonge Street and I walked into a pair of, they were like Austrian or Swedish twins coming out of this corner store, and they were each like 7'3" apiece, and like, you know, like happy mountaineers, you know what I mean? Like just like massive Viking dudes. And that was another one of those times where the first guy came out and I was like, huh. And then his identical twin comes out and I was like, huh. And I was like, that's not a humongous dude on one street corner. And then I looked around, everyone else on the street corner seeing me and these 2 twins, they're all going, huh. Wow, there's a lot of fucking giants on that corner right now. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
It's like you just stumbled into WWE camp. Like
Yeah.
you just stumbled across a
Yeah.
tag team wrestling duo.
Yeah.
Totem pole corner.
You knew it wasn't a hit squad because it was too public.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's just no. Oh no, it can't be. Like,
Some people say that you look like wrestlers. What do you get? Do you ever get like lookalikes?
Yeah. I get
What's
a lot
most
of them.
common?
Well, obviously everyone's like, you're like Andre the Giant. I get that one. I have got that one forever.
That's how we met you. You were
Yep.
playing.
Yeah, it's your mistake.
Because I decided after a long enough time, like, well, shit, I'm just going to double as the guy, see how that goes for a change. And sure enough, it's like instant acting part. Like, yeah, you want to be Under the Giant? I'm like,
done.
do I want to be Under the Giant? Are you sure I want to be Under the Giant? They're like, you got this part, like it's you.
Let's practice it. Ready? Stop all that rhyming, and I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
Come on, Zick. That's all
Pretty amazing.
Giant right there. Yeah, thank you.
But I also get Big Show and Undertaker a lot as well because of like the long hair and the whole deal, right?
Can you do this is your close-up camera.
show.
Can you do like Undertaker eyes rolled back into your head for the camera?
Probably not.
Yeah, you can do it.
No.
Gong.
Then do a
Bell chimes.
do a fist raise. Watching out for the things. Do a fist raise like Big Show. You don't know his thing?
I don't watch wrestling.
Just all you do is like with conviction, just throw out the one fist and then kind of look forward like you're ready to like throw somebody out of the club for real.
That's pretty good.
Pretty Big
That's
Show,
good.
right? That's
Yeah,
Big Show if I've seen it.
Here's the thing. When you are a giant, watching other giants in tights pretend to fight each other is not so much a thing.
No.
Really.
Come on, you can admit it. Go ahead.
Admit what?
Exactly.
Oh, you're right. Oh, yes. No, I'm sorry. You got me. You got me.
You love watching giants in tights.
I love watching giants in tights pretend to fight each other. It's all I do. It's my.
He is one of those giants.
That's the next meme right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing we got that written down.
Any other audience questions? Jabril?
Dan, is this your first time meeting Bob?
Who?
Dan? Wait, who's
Adam.
it? Adam. I'm looking at Dan. I'm like, Adam.
I'm Polish and I can't believe there's Polish fucking Nazis.
You know, I couldn't. I swear to God, I couldn't.
Nazis
Yeah.
more than 99% of areas.
I couldn't believe it either. And when I found out these guys were Polish Nazis, I mean, we just thought they were, Nazi muffins. But when I actually was, saying with some other ARA punk rock dudes, the guy's like, yeah, there's like a serious problem with these Polish Nazi guys. And I was like, what? Polish Nazi guys? But, yeah, for sure. They're like, anyway, yeah.
Like, how did that start? There was just a handful of Polish guys at Auschwitz who were like, you know what? They have a good point. Like, you know?
Father, dad's gonna kill us.
They may have steamrolled and destroyed our country, but that's okay. You know what we should do? We should dress up just like them. We should march around and impress people, because that'll work out really well for us.
Masochism taken too far.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know who said it, but if you victimize the people enough, you can only expect a certain backlash to become very much like the victimizers, right? I mean, you see that happen all the time whenever dictatorships overthrow countries or political powers assert each other. To some extent, yeah. To some extent, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You see that backlash.
Right? You're always going to see. Not even to say backlash, but you're also going to see people emulating their oppressors, because that was the power structure they were brought up in, right? I mean, so they know that this is a road to domination, whether it's a good road or a positive road, and they'll emulate the same terrible values that oppressed them in order to be, to gain power themselves. And it's the bitter nature of evil creating itself, right?
That's why it's 4 times as worse when they've never had anything bad happen to them.
Yes, that's right. And that's exactly what you're talking about,
Where are you coming from?
third generation Canadian Polish guys who are like, yeah, we're Polish Nazis, and it's like, man, read a book, please.
Yeah, really.
Like, goddamn. It's like, I'm sure there are like 10-minute YouTube classes you could take that'd make you smarter than you are now,
They didn't have YouTube back then.
You hear that?
No, they
Polish
didn't. They didn't.
Nazis.
Yeah, you hear that, Polish Nazis? I'm still here, and I'm...
I got a question.
Hit it.
Here we go.
How many fights have you gotten into?
Oh my
In the bare knuckle fighting, how many fights have you fought, and how many times did you win?
I ended up fighting total of 4 times, and I won 3 of the 4, and the 4th was just a massacre. That was it. I was never doing that again.
You got massacred?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, tell us quickly about that.
The Asian guy brought in a dude straight from China.
It's because they knew now. Like, you had already had 3 wins.
Yeah,
Right.
straight from China.
So-
I don't know what he was trained in, but he was highly trained. Guy was fast as lightning. Threw punches like sledgehammers. It was unreal. Knocked me out in probably 3 minutes.
Like a TKO, like...
I hit the floor, and I was like, "Boo." There was a little bit of smelling salts, and I kind of came back around, and there's 4 fingers of whiskey and a beer, and I'm like, "Boo." Spent a little bit of time standing by the bar going, "Boo."
One of my favorite noises is the noise that you make when you get knocked out. Yeah.
No, it was wild.
How big was this guy? He was like a little...
No, he's about 6 feet tall, but he was just lightning fast. Kicks over his head, just everything coming at you all at once. It was amazing. But I learned a lot about fighting from the guy. They didn't kick that hard that many times. It was like, wow, you can really get broken fast, and it doesn't take much. I didn't break any bones, and none of the sprains or bruises.
Well, I mean, you took a truck, so I would hope that you could take, I don't know. I would assume.
Well, a truck is near semi-permanent injuries. Whenever it gets cold, the joints still loosen up. That was the worst I ever got hurt. Which is actually how I know that fighting was a thing, but car accidents are real.
Well, at least
What was the worst fight you've ever had? This truck beat the shit out of me.
SUV caught me in a crosswalk. We had a disagreement. I lost.
Well, because me and Lars go to the gym, and there's a guy who, on our way into the change room, he's Muay Thai or whatever, and he kicks this bag, and when he kicks it, it just sounds
We
like...
walked by and it makes me flinch and cringe. He just gets he gets in the zone, and then he just it's just fucking boom, boom.
He
It's
gets set. He does the breath,
shaking. I'm
the breath "Sah," or whatever, and
feel my ribs break.
And we talk about if you took it like me, like I'm like
Hence
a
the term
stick.
bag of chiclets,
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
One of those would be like put me in half, like.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you gotta be so tough just to kick something that hard, because, like, I feel like that would hurt my, like, I could never do that because that would kill my leg.
I'd probably break my leg.
I would kick it as hard as he did, and then I'd
Hence
just be
the
like...
kicking down trees thing. I'm right back to that again.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
how
a
you
lot of
train.
crazy right there.
Well, what got me out of it was watching Pride videos from back in the day, Pride fighting, and watching guys break their shins trying to kick each other. And I'm like, I don't want to do it.
For a split second when you said Pride videos, I thought you meant, like, gay parade videos. I'm like, how does that...
I really wanted to fight watching
Yeah. I watched a couple Pride parade.
Wrestling or
He was a Polish Nazi. That's what it was.
I was out of Pride as a Polish Nazi. It didn't work out well. I didn't want
Put
to
on my
fight.
chainmail bikini and got into the fight. Like,
Didn't want to fight after that.
Nice. Well, boys, I feel like we did it.
I think we got some
that's,
serious
I think
money.
that's
How's our
story,
run time?
right?
We're
Solid
pretty.
little story. I think we're...
Any more
we're good.
questions and comments, concerns?
We're good to wrap
We've
it
got
up.
the
No,
title
we're
for
good.
that one. Well, we just want
I
to.
have more stories.
We got
but, you know,
one
save
quickie.
How tall are you?
How tall is
6'11".
he?
6'11".
Yeah.
My friend is 6'7".
Yes, he is. So shorter.
Well, fuck you and your 6'7" friend.
When he grows a few inches, he can have his own podcast, okay? So, let's leave it to
Yes.
professionals. Okay?
You must be this tall to podcast. That's how it works.
It's a podcast at 39DD Show
Yeah.
at the Instagram handle. So we want to say thank you to Lars and myself and Bob, and most importantly to all you folks for showing up at this
1830.
1830 and the staff. These guys are amazing.
Give it up for them. Both
Rocky and
sides
everybody
all.
here doing a great job representing, and we're here on a Monday night downtown Toronto. Thank you, and tune in next time.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye-bye.